In 2039, the world is going through big changes because of amazing new technologies like brain-machine interfaces, fusion energy, and proto-quantum computers. But these changes are also causing a lot of problems, like making tensions between the United States and China worse, bringing humanity to the edge of a new and most destructive war. Turkey has become a strong country with lots of confidence in its technology, and it's staying neutral while the rest of the world is in chaos. The episode starts with Kemal, who leads the Wolf Secret Agency. He's lost his wife and loved ones a long time ago, and now he's in a simulation talking to a virtual version of his wife. But then he gets a message from someone called the Red Messenger, telling him to trust their plan. Kemal decides to leave the simulation and use his anger and sadness for something important. One day, Kemal was driving his electric car to an undisclosed location for some work. But his journey hit a snag when he got stuck in a traffic jam on a bridge. He turned to his AI companion, Cam, Turkey's top-notch artificial intelligence, for company and assistance. As they waited, Cam detected a strange quantum signal nearby, signaling potential trouble. Meanwhile, Korkut, a police officer, found himself stuck in the same traffic jam. Adding to the mix, ECE, a girl on a mission to detect signals, also found herself trapped in the congestion. ECE reached out to Tomris, who was managing things from Wolf's control room. Tomris explained that sending drones to help was risky due to possible electromagnetic interference. Instead, she informed Kemal about AC's situation, also stuck in jam. Suddenly, chaos erupted as Kemal's car was attacked by an energy wave, sending it plummeting off the bridge. Kemal managed to assess the damage, discovering he had broken ribs. Amidst the confusion, 3 assailants emerged from the blinding light on the bridge, unleashing gunfire on innocent bystanders. Officer Korkut sprang into action, abandoning his car to assist people in evacuating the area. As he did, 2 mysterious attackers approached Kemal's car, dressed in unfamiliar technology and wielding weapons unlike any seen before. Tomris relayed the grim news to Kemal that the bridge had been targeted, but she swiftly mobilized both rescue teams to aid Kemal. Despite Kemal's confidence in his ability to defend himself, he acknowledged the vulnerability of his car's armor against the attackers' advanced weaponry. Desperate, he ordered the activation of the defense system, only to find the attackers impervious to its attempts to repel them. Meanwhile, the rescue operation begins with special forces and the Wolf team, under the leadership of Chief Baran, dispatched to assist civilians. As the attackers pressed forward on the bridge, Korkut attempted to halt their advance. Soon, ECE joined him, her presence striking Korkut as peculiar upon spotting the wolf's necklace adorning her neck, signaling she wasn't just an ordinary citizen. Kemal's attempt to escape was thwarted by the car's limited power, leaving him vulnerable as the attackers closed in. With no other options left, Kemal instructed Cam to activate the self-destruct mode to prevent capture. Cam confirmed the code and initiated the countdown, knowing it was their last resort. Just as the attackers broke through the car window and captured Kemal, Tomris intervened, sending King, the sole soldier equipped with the prototype armor called Saganfu, designed by Cam. King managed to scatter the enemies, but their resilient foe, including a surprising girl among them, proved difficult to eliminate. Meanwhile, military helicopters attempted to land on the bridge to assist, but one of the attackers targeted and downed one of the choppers, escalating the chaos. Despite the setback, the chief rallied the remaining soldiers, urging them to press on and complete the mission. King bravely continued to fight against the assailants, but the enemy deployed an unknown technology that disabled King's suit. Tomris took charge of the situation by deploying dozens of attack drones controlled by the girls, who had linked their brains to the Otugan supercomputer. This powerful supercomputer, dedicated to analyzing threats against Turkey, served as the country's defense system in times of war. Faced with overwhelming opposition, the attackers chose to retreat, utilizing an unfamiliar technique to vanish from sight. Kemal directed King to the bridge while he headed back to headquarters for treatment of his injuries. On the bridge, Chief, ECE, and Korkut joined forces to combat the remaining enemies. Amidst the chaos, they discovered a trapped little girl. ECE ensured the safety of the girl's parents while Korkut and Chief worked to free her. Suddenly, tragedy struck as a bullet pierced Chief's chest, instantly ending his life. The attackers seized the opportunity to retreat, triggering a powerful shockwave that caused the bridge to collapse. Acting swiftly, Korkut grabbed the girl and struggled to hold onto an iron rod, narrowly avoiding certain death. Just in time, King arrived and rescued them, preventing further catastrophe. Korkut is summoned to Wolf's secret base, where the Turkish president expresses anger towards Kemal for failing to prevent the attack. The revelation of Turkey's formidable secret army has attracted global attention, but the whereabouts of the attackers remain unknown, leaving 1,200 innocent lives lost in the tragedy. Despite the pressure, Kemal reassures the president and requests time to address the situation. In a heated confrontation, Korkut confronts Kemal, revealing their complex history. 23 years ago, Kemal, Chief Baran, and Korkut's father fought side by side in a war. Tragically, Korkut's father lost his life in the conflict. Kemal distanced himself from Korkut thereafter, as Korkut's father had wished to shield his son from the hardships of their world. This revelation fuels Korkut's anger towards Kemal and his father, holding them responsible for his orphaned upbringing. In the aftermath of Chief Baran's passing, the Wolf team solemnly performs his last rites while continuing their search for the attackers. Kemal, consumed by anger and thirst for revenge, takes drastic measures, bypassing privacy laws to hack into citizens' phones in a bid to uncover footage of the assailants. Their breakthrough comes from rare photographs revealing the attacker's logo, HCN, and the use of electromagnetically accelerated mass destruction weapons, believed to be the creation of Professor Nuruddin Fourier, who has been missing for 6 months. Kemal's new mission becomes finding and apprehending him. Meanwhile, Korkut is honored by the President of Turkey for his bravery, receiving the title of Hero and the Crescent Medal. As the Wolf team reflects on their shared past, they disclose that many of them, including Tomris, are orphans raised and trained by Kemal. Feeling empathy for Korkut's situation, they extend an invitation to him, recognizing him as one of their own. As Garyon infiltrates an estate, he effortlessly dispatches the leader's guards and demands the leader implant a chip from a hostage. Meanwhile, Kemal visits the shattered remains of the bridge, where he discovers a microscopic fiber of an unknown substance washed ashore. Back at headquarters, Tomris struggles to decipher the meaning of HCN and decides to delve into old books and consult the Otugan supercomputer for answers. At the police station, Korkut receives an envelope from Kemal containing an identification mark, granting him access to Wolf's headquarters. Inside the facility, he is welcomed by ECE and introduced to Barbaros and other members of the Wolf team. There, he learns that the headquarters is buried 100 meters deep in Istanbul and is impervious to missile attacks. Kemal engages in discussions with CIA Chairman James, informing him of the discovery of boron dust on the bridge, the same substance found during an attack on a U.S. nuclear power plant. Following the devastating attack, CIA agents detected an unknown force, resulting in 67% of Arizona becoming uninhabitable. The mysterious terrorist organization HCN was identified as responsible for the devastation, posing a grave threat to both countries. In response, Kemal and James strike a deal to collaborate and share classified information. Meanwhile, Korkut accepts the offer to join the detachment. Elsewhere in the city, mercenaries stumble upon Professor Nuruddin Fourier, bound and pleading for water. They transport him to an abandoned factory and coerce him into installing the chip. Back at Wolf's headquarters, Tomris reports her findings, revealing that she scanned through word combinations and abbreviations containing HCN letters across all existing written languages. Among them, she discovered only one word with HCN spelled in its entirety. Suddenly, the headquarters alarm blares, indicating that the same signal received during the bridge attack is emanating from a satellite. Kemal realizes the possibility that these attackers are the same ones responsible for the previous assault. As Kemal's team, including Korkut, arrives at the designated area, they encounter not their intended targets, but hired mercenaries. In the ensuing confrontation, the team engages in a firefight, eliminating most of the adversaries. Through interrogation of a captured man, they learn that their leader is at the factory with Professor Nuruddin Fourier, the creator of electromagnetic weapons. Upon reaching the factory, they find Professor Fourier visibly agitated. He reveals that the R-211 NATO autonomous tank, on which he had installed a beta artificial intelligence unit, has malfunctioned, resulting in a violent rampage that claimed the lives of everyone present. The beta AI, possessing remarkable intelligence and autonomy, is so sophisticated that it resembles humans, yet lacks awareness of its own existence or a claim to a soul. As the team confronts the malfunctioning R-211, They discover that it targets only moving objects. In the heat of the confrontation, King's actions provoke the malfunctioning R-211, but Batuhan's well-aimed sniper shot disrupts its targeting. The decisive blow comes as a rocket obliterates the AI, bringing relief to the team as they celebrate their victory. Meanwhile, at the factory, Korkut and ECE are in conversation with Professor Furia, reflecting on Chief Baran's tragic death. Suddenly, the professor drops a bombshell revelation. He was the one who shot Chief Baran. Shocked and incredulous, Korkut and ECE take him into custody, demanding answers. In the political sphere, a reporter questions the president about Turkey's stance in a potential conflict between the US and China. The president emphasizes Turkey's commitment to neutrality, despite being challenged by powerful figures like Kemal due to her anti-artificial intelligence policies. She clarifies that while she opposes alpha artificial intelligence, a theoretical and potentially dangerous form with claims to human-like consciousness, she does not oppose all forms of AI. COM, Turkey's advanced AI, has the potential to evolve into such a form. As the Wolf team brings Professor Tufan to the agency, his body undergoes scanning, revealing a synthetic object inside him, functioning as a battery-generating vector bosons. COM assures that it poses no threat to human health, but emits electromagnetic waves similar to those observed during the bridge attack, suggesting his ability to teleport effortlessly. Intrigued by this discovery, Tomris decides to join Kemal in interrogating Tufan. He reveals his identity and claims to possess knowledge about Kemal's secret bunker and concealed secrets from his comrades. When questioned about the technology used during the bridge attack, Tufan explains that osmium balls fired from the weapon travel at incredible speeds of Mach 20. The protective shield comprises two layers, a plasma curtain blocking mass with kinetic energy, and a second layer of electromagnetically stable, single-atom-thick graphene, invisible yet effective. Their disappearing technology, he claims, is surprisingly simple, but anticipates that in 50 years, teleportation via subatomic quantum mechanics will become even more accessible. The man provocatively questions Kemal about the Bal Sultan project, insinuating that Tomris may not be fully informed. He accuses Kemal of using his team as pawns, manipulating their lives while shedding false tears. This accusation enrages Kemal, leading him to lash out in anger. In a moment of fury, Kemal orders Com to execute the prisoner. However, Tomris intervenes, canceling the order and asserting that Kemal is not authorized to carry out such executions. The president then demands Tufan be handed over to MIT, but Kemal refuses, citing Tufan's extreme danger. Kemal dismisses all team members except Tomris, indicating that he has a plan that they cannot comprehend. As they depart the headquarters, they share a moment of camaraderie, enjoying a well-deserved dinner together. While Tomris interrogates Tufan, he once again reveals Kemal's secrets. He explains that Kemal has altered the course of history with messages from the Red Messenger. These messages could be from an unknown source or an algorithm predicting future events. Tomris then confronts Kemal directly and asks him to be completely honest with her. Kemal shares information about something called the tachyonic anti-telephone and the Tolman paradox. This allows messages to travel to the past, but only one-way conversations are possible. Kemal admits to receiving messages about the future from the Red Messenger and trusts its plans because he believes it's actually himself from the future. However, Com expresses doubt about this claim. Kemal insists that the Red Messenger knows his deepest thoughts, which no one else does. Tomris realizes that it was the Red Messenger who guided Kemal to find her in Syria and predicted her future identity, which ultimately led Kemal to adopt her. This revelation leaves Tomris feeling deeply saddened. Tomris approaches Tufan once more, but he tries to sway her to his side. He invites her to join him, justifying the thousands killed on the bridge as necessary sacrifices to eliminate Kemal, with the goal of potentially saving millions. When Tomris refuses to support his actions, Tufan seems unsurprised, indicating he anticipated her reaction. Suddenly, the alarm blares, signaling trouble. Kemal rushes down as an unknown virus infiltrates the system, hacking Otukan. All doors seal shut, trapping everyone inside. Tufan reveals messages indicating that the Red Messenger isn't the only one communicating. Meanwhile, Begum tries to connect with Otukan, but Kemal realizes she's not Tomris and orders her to disconnect. However, before she can comply, an unknown intruder breaches the algorithm, causing confusion in Begum's mind. ECE becomes aware of the situation and hurries to headquarters with Barbaros, ready to assist in resolving the crisis. As Tufan activates the device inside his body, he urges Tomris to flee before triggering an explosion and making his escape. Despite the blast, the bunker remains intact. Kemal instructs Tomris to connect to Otukan and locate Cam, promising to reveal all the answers she seeks. Meanwhile, ECE and Barbaros attempt to open the sealed door, but the access code fails to work. Tomris enters the control room and disconnects Begum's neural link. She then accesses Otukin and finds Cam, who is visibly frightened. Tomris manages to soothe him, but she encounters the virtual form of Begum, who reveals they are not in Otukin. Begum cryptically mentions knowing about the project, but refuses to divulge further, fearing it could become reality if spoken aloud. Tomris snaps back to reality to find Begum standing over her. Enraged, she brutally attacks him, attempting to kill him before ECE intervenes to stop her. A few days after the incident, Kamal receives a message from the Red Messenger, assuring him that Tomris's ordeal was inevitable. The Red Messenger urges Kamal to trust him, promising him an opportunity for revenge the following day. Later, Kamal undergoes a painful procedure aimed at rejuvenating his cells, making him 10 years younger. Meanwhile, the president visits the agency, urgently requesting 100,000 Turkish soldiers equipped with Siganfu armor due to the imminent threat of nuclear war. Meanwhile, Tomris awakens from a 2-week coma to find Kam informing her that she was clinically dead for 4 minutes. ECE advises her to rest and recover. As the team discusses Tufan's escape, Kamal arrives with news that MIT has uncovered information about him. It appears that a company called GenMod implanted the device in Tufan's body. Rumors suggest that GenMod operates a secret team that kidnaps children for their overclocking experiments. Kamal devises a plan to launch an attack on GenMod's facility that night, with himself and Barbaros joining the operation. Meanwhile, Korkut and King are tasked with picking up Eric, the CIA agent dispatched by James from the airport. Instead of bringing him directly to Wolf's headquarters as planned, they take him to a club, citing the need to avoid arousing suspicion from Chinese spies, which could jeopardize Turkey's neutrality. As Kamal's team surrounds the warehouse, they make a grim discovery: the corpses of young children, victims of GenMod's illicit harvesting operations. This warehouse serves as GenMod's unofficial harvest lab. Suddenly, ECE alerts them to the fact that they've walked into a trap, with enemies surrounding the team. Meanwhile, at the club, Eric confides in James, revealing that they've diverted from the original plan and he cannot gain access to Wolf's headquarters without their assistance. James responds by dispatching 2 operatives to retrieve him. After some time, 2 individuals claiming to be sent by James approach Eric at the club. However, Eric grows suspicious of them and draws his gun. Unfortunately, his firearm proves ineffective against them as they possess the overclocking gene, a mutation caused by certain vaccine side effects. This mutation enhances their speed, strength, and alertness, but temporarily clouds their judgment. Korkut and King realize Eric is missing and eventually locate him, leading to a confrontation. Suddenly, Garyon arrives on the scene, and King reveals to Korkut that he also possesses the overclocking gene. All of them, including Eric, are members of the terrorist organization HCN responsible for the bridge attack. A fierce battle ensues, seeming never-ending. In the midst of the chaos, the girl intervenes to aid Garyon, triggering his fury. He nearly harms her until one of his men broadcasts a high-frequency sound, halting the fight. The 3 beaten men retreat from the scene. ECE informs Kamal that there are 23 men in the building, one of whom is an HCN operator, meaning he's impervious to gunfire. As the team encounters the enemies, they dispatch them easily except for one, who proves resistant to conventional weapons. Suddenly, a soldier from the team appears behind the enemy and fatally stabs him in the neck. A plan devised by Barbaros, who knew that a certain amount of kinetic energy could penetrate the shield. Meanwhile, Tomris is determined to uncover information about the Bal Sultan project, but even Kam doesn't have any details on it. She sneaks into Kamal's private room and discovers his profound losses. Connecting to Kamal's personal device, she enters a simulation where she encounters Kamal's deceased friends. It becomes apparent that they are copies of beta artificial intelligence, or rather an algorithm retaining memories of their past lives. In the simulation, Tomris encounters Begum and Kamal's wife, Asena, who reveal the secrets of the Bal Sultan project. It transpires that Kamal's lost loved ones are preserved within the simulation, allowing Kamal to reunite with them whenever he desires. 23 years ago, the Red Messenger began divulging future technological secrets to Kamal, beginning with consciousness, a process involving scanning the brain in 3D and converting it into data. Initially, the required energy and processing power were lacking. However, Kamal trusted the messenger and attempted to save his fallen friends by extracting their brains. Unfortunately, the damaged brains couldn't be scanned or transferred, so Kamal preserved them until the invention of the quantum computer enabled the process to commence. Within the simulation, Kamal's lost friends possess all their original emotions, memories, and personality traits. They experience the world through all 5 senses and even interact with the internet and metaverse, unbeknownst to the real world. This is Project Baal Sultan, kept secret to prevent people from seeking to recreate themselves. Upon her return, Kam queries Tomris about the project's significance, to which she solemnly responds, "The end of humanity." In a flashback, many years ago, Tufan and his pregnant wife visit an undisclosed location. After completing their task, they sit in their car, equipped with a beta artificial intelligence named Dante, which Tufan helped create. Despite his contributions, Tufan insists he didn't create Dante alone, acknowledging the efforts of Flex engineers and scholars. However, Dante repeatedly asks about his creator, which unsettles Tufan. Exiting the car, Tufan expresses his concerns to the engineers, but suddenly, Dante locks the car doors and releases poisonous gas inside. Despite Tufan's pleas and attempts to open the door, he watches helplessly as his pregnant wife succumbs to the gas. This tragic event fuels Tufan's deep-seated hatred for artificial intelligence and motivates his desire to eliminate Wolf. Meanwhile, Turan, Isi's father and a long-lost friend of Kamal, returns to the agency after years of absence. ECE harbors resentment towards him for leaving without a trace, leaving her uncertain about their well-being. Kamal's team possesses Halcyon's technology and aims to study it, suspecting that Halcyon holds an advantage over them. They believe that Halcyon's objective is to eliminate Kamal, recruit Tomris, and instigate a third world war, a scenario the president is striving to prevent. The team analyzes the armor and discovers that it generates a unique field, rendering the wearer invulnerable. Kamal receives a message from the Red Messenger, cautioning him of a plan that could endanger his entire team. Despite the potential consequences, Kamal hesitates to follow the plan, unwilling to sacrifice his team, whom he considers family. Eventually, he gathers the team and reveals his communication with the Red Messenger. Initially skeptical, Kamal has come to trust the messenger as their predictions have proven accurate, albeit foretelling grim future events. In 2050, the world's population is projected to plummet to a mere 90 million, with hunger driving people to resort to desperate measures, such as consuming corpses on the streets, leading to the eventual extinction of humanity. The exact details of this grim future remain undisclosed, perhaps intentionally omitted. Kamal expresses remorse to his team for recruiting orphans into Wolf rather than integrating them into loving families. However, the team expresses gratitude for Kamal's actions, willing even to sacrifice their lives for their country if necessary. Kamal contacts the president, warning of an imminent attack, but the president remains skeptical. Nevertheless, she agrees to allow Kamal's team to protect her, albeit without their weapons. Kamal confides in Korkut, entrusting him with leadership responsibilities in his absence or Turan's, as Korkut is the only one who has read Kamal's entire book. Kamal informs Korkut that he plans to introduce him to his father today. Leading him through a secret door, Kam guides Korkut into a simulation where he reunites with his deceased father after 23 years. Overwhelmed, Korkut embraces his father, who reveals that he resides here with his friends, each inhabiting a different universe within this simulated paradise. However, his father cautions that if this knowledge were to become public, people would cease living in the real world and seek entry into the simulation, viewing it as heaven. After bidding farewell to his father, Korkut asks Kam if he can visit him again, to which Kam responds affirmatively, contingent upon the safety of the world. Meanwhile, the Halcyon fighters plot to attack the president. Tufan asserts that this drastic measure is necessary to acquire the bombs, targeting the Wolf team and the president for their advocacy of artificial intelligence. Just as the Red Messenger informs Kamal about the future, the Blue Messenger reveals to Halcyon a future where humanity becomes enslaved to machines. As preparations are underway to defend the headquarters, some members of the agency are assigned to protect the president during her upcoming speech. Meanwhile, Tomris confronts Kamal about his apparent disdain for her. Kamal confesses that his reluctance to get close to her stems from his fear of losing her, just as he has lost everyone else dear to him. He kept the truth hidden because he feared that revealing it would drive her away. Ultimately, Kamal entrusts Tomris with all the secret codes and access to Bal Sultan, urging her to uncover her true identity. Venturing into Bal Sultan, Tomris encounters Kamal's wife, Asena, and learns a shocking revelation. The Blue Messenger is none other than Tomris herself. In a twist of fate, humanity's last hope lies in a leader whose intellect matches her animosity, driven by a long-standing desire to be Kamal's adversary. As the president begins her speech, the team readies themselves for the impending attack. Meanwhile, Kamal, Barbaros, and Tehran reminisce about their past experiences at the headquarters. When Asena passed away, Kamal didn't immediately bury her. Instead, he had learned of a technique from the Red Messenger that could potentially bring back his deceased daughter. Utilizing Asena's intact proliferation cells, Kamal combined them with his own genes to create a girl. This girl, Tomris, was artificially raised by Kamal, inheriting the genetic traits of both Asena and Kamal. Kamal went even further by altering Tomris's cell genome to slow down her aging process and enhance her immune system, making her practically immune to illnesses and injuries. Asena reveals to Tomris that she is her real daughter, conceived from the genetic material of Kamal and Asena herself. As the president concludes her speech, the attackers emerge and launch an assault on the guards. They systematically eliminate each guard until only the president remains. But just as they open fire on her, a soldier from the Wolf team arrives, clad in body armor, and shields her from harm. Meanwhile, King, utilizing the prototype armor, leaps from the rooftop and swiftly dispatches 3 of Halcyon's assailants. The girls realize they're outmatched and opt to retreat, teleporting away with Tufan. Simultaneously, Genman's soldiers infiltrate the headquarters with the intention of eliminating Kamal and wiping out the Wolf Agency. Upon her return, Tomris instructs the girls to divert all energy reserves into quantum flux. She directs Com to convert the entire energy output of the headquarters into neutrinos and fermions, while also linking Bal Sultan to Otukan. As the wormhole appears, Cam instructs Bal Sultan's team to take over all the calculations and control. They need to go back in time to change the future. Despite facing tough enemies, Kamal and his team fight bravely and manage to eliminate them. But then, the formidable Garyon, a key figure from Han, enters the headquarters and shoots Chief. Knowing that Garyon has a protective shield, Kamal's gun is ineffective. He attempts to stab Garyon, but the man is too strong and quick. Seeing Kamal in danger, Tomris, for the first time, calls him father and urges him to stay alive. Encouraged by her words, Kamal rises with determination and confronts Garyon bravely. Suddenly, a wormhole opens within the headquarters, and everything gets destroyed. Confused, Korkut contacts Com and asks where everyone has gone. Com cryptically replies that they haven't gone to a place, but rather to a different time. And with that, the series comes to an end. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.